Do you want fast fingers? Well, here are 6 licks that you should be playing every day to get you there. Each of these licks use a variety of different techniques to get your fingers moving faster than ever. So let's start with lick number 1. So each of these licks are in the key of A minor, and with lick number 1, we start with playing the open A string. Then we're going to do a hammer-on to the 5th fret with our 1st finger, and then another hammer-on with our 3rd finger to the 7th fret. So it's kind of like we're only picking the string once, and we're letting the fingers on our fretting hand do the rest. And we're going to do the same thing on the D string, open D. There we go, hammering on to the 5th fret and the 7th fret. And then we're going to do the same thing for the open G string, but we're going to add a couple more moves. We start with the open G. But then once we get to the 7th fret, once we hammer on from 5 to 7 on the G string, we're going to pull off back to 5. And then we're going to slide down to the 4th fret. And then from here with our 1st finger, while the note is still sustaining, we're going to pull off to the open like this. Like that. And then finally to end it, we're going to land our 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the D string. So all together, slow. And these licks, you know, you can play them fast or slow and they sound really cool. So the objective is to get your fingers going fast, but you got to get these licks down slow so you can get them under your fingers and then gradually increase the speed in which you play them, right? So that's lick number 1. Let's check out lick number 2. So with this lick, we're going to start on the 8th fret with our pinky on the high E string, and we're going to play the 8th fret to the 5th fret. And we're picking every note in this lick, so it's the perfect opportunity for some alternate picking madness. And then once we do that, we're going to play the 8 to 5 on the B string, and we're going to do that again. So it's going to be 2 times in succession like this. So we have, and then we're going to do that same thing that we're doing on the B string, now on the G string. All right, so far from the high E string, which we just do once from 8 to 5, and then twice on the B and G strings. And then we're going to play the 7th fret on the D string, and then we're going to end this lick with the 5th fret on the G string. Give it a little vibrato. So here's the whole lick in context. That's lick number 2. Now moving on to lick number 3. I like this one a lot. So we're going to start with our sliding to the 5th fret on the G string. So this is one of those slides where it doesn't really matter what fret you start with. You know, you just kind of slide from essentially nowhere, right? But you can really slide from anywhere previously from, you know, previous to the 5th fret. Now, usually as a rule of thumb, I'll just do a couple frets before. So it's almost like sliding from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret. So we're sliding into the 5th fret on the G string. Then with our 1st finger, we're going to play the 3rd fret of the B string. And then our 3rd finger is going to play the 5th fret, and then we're going to pull off to 3. So like this. And that pattern, that movement is going to be repeated as we move up this lick. Then we're going to slide up to the 7th fret on the G string. And then we're going to play 5 and 8 on the B string. And then once we're at the 8th fret, we're going to pull off back to 5. So it's, same pattern like I said. And then finally, we're going to slide up to the 9th fret on the G string. Then we're going to play the 8th fret on the B string. Then the 10th fret and pull off to 8. But then to end it, we're going to play the 10th fret again and hold it there. So here's the whole lick. And this lick is great because it sets us up for the rest of the licks. I kind of wanted these all to sort of flow in their own way so that they feel good naturally as you move up the fretboard. Lick number 4 is a doozy, but it's definitely going to get your fingers going. This lick uses what's called a 3-note per string pattern. So pretty much every string that we come across with this lick, we're going to be playing 3 notes on it. So starting on the A string, we're going to play the 8th fret, 10th fret, and 12th fret. And as far as what fingers to use, of course you want to use your first finger and your pinky for the first and last notes in this, right? But as far as the middle, you know, I like to use my second finger. Sometimes if you got like bigger hands, you can use your third finger if that's more comfortable. There's really no right or wrong way to do it when it comes to that middle note there. But me personally, I have average size hands, so I just use my second finger there. So we're going to play 8, 10, and 12, but then we're going to play it a second time. So essentially we're turning this into 6 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The reason for this is when we're dealing with an odd number, and you're also talking about alternate picking, right? We're going to be alternate picking every note. And with alternating, right, up, down, that's 2 movements. So we want to make this an even number so that we have an even amount of strokes with the pick as we move across the strings. So we turn this from 3 to 6 notes by repeating it like this. All right, so we start with the downstroke, so it's going down, up, down, up, right? And then when we're left off with an upstroke, it's the perfect opportunity to come to the next string on a downstroke, right? Which is going to be the 9th fret on the D string, and then 10th fret on, 9th fret on the D string, then 10th fret, and then 12th fret. And we repeat that twice, like that. And then we're doing the exact same thing, same frets and everything on the G string. And then once we get to the B string where we end the lick, we're going to slow it down a little bit. We're going to sort of slow down the momentum. And we're going to play 10, 12, and then 13. And then we're going to give it a full step bend. So we're bending from the pitch of this note to this one. So we're going. So here's the whole lick in context. It just kind of feels satisfying leading up to that bend when you slow down those last few notes. So that's kind of why I like, you know, bringing the momentum down, because that's going to help you not only play faster, but have control over your hands while you're playing fast. Next up is lick number 5, which goes like this. I like lick number 5 a lot because it kind of has an exotic sound. So it's a slight departure from the minor pentatonic or the natural minor scale we've been using thus far. So we're going to start with a hammer-on and pull-off from the 8th fret on the high E string to the 12th fret. So this is going to be kind of a stretch. So I recommend using your first and your 4th fingers for this. All right. So we pick the string and then we hammer on to 12 and pull off. All right. And then we're going to play 12, 10, 9 on the B string. Then we're going to play the 12th fret on the G string. And then once we reach the 12th fret on the G string there, we're going to go back to the 10th fret on the B string and then play 10 and 9. So it's... All right, again, sounds kind of out there, you know, exotic. All right, and then we're going to play 12, 10, 9 on the G string. Then 12 on the D string, and then finally end it on the 9th fret of the G string. So here's the whole lick slow. One more time. And that's lick number 5. Last but certainly not least, we have lick number 6, which leads us to a climactic end bend. It goes like this. This lick starts on the 12th fret of the D string, and we're going to play 12, 14. Then we're going to play 12, 14 on the G string. Then we're going to go back to playing 12, 14 on the D string again, and the G string. So it's just this repeating, you know, motion. Sound a little familiar? It's very Tony Iommi. So we do 12, 14, 12, 14 on D and G. But the second time we do it, we're going to continue on, and we're going to play 12 and 13 on the B string. So we have... All right, and then once we reach here, the 13th fret on the B string, we're gonna play on the 12th fret of the G string and then the 14th fret. So we're going back to those notes. Then we do 12, 13 on B. So we have, you can kind of see where this is going. This is meant to just sort of anticipate and build into an epic payoff. So we have, and then from here, we're gonna play 12, 15 on the high E string, and then we're gonna give it a full step bend at the end. So all together, nice and slow. For this lesson, I wanted to pick licks that, like I said, cover a lot of ground with building speed in your hands, but also had a wide variety of different techniques so that you can get accustomed to, hammer-ons, pull-offs, alternate picking, bends, that kind of thing. And if you're encountering any challenges with learning these licks, be sure to go back in the video and rewatch the parts where I break each lick down as many times as it takes till you get it down, all right? From that point, the goal is speed, but remember, it's gonna be a gradual process. So I recommend that you learn the licks comfortably and perfectly at a slow tempo, and then slowly start to, graduate to a faster tempo. And then next thing you know, you're gonna be playing them much faster than you did when you first learned them. But of course, I like giving you things to practice that also have musical value. So these licks are not just meant to be exercises. You can totally play these, over a backing track in the key of A minor. You can add them to your bag of tricks. Whatever you want to do with these licks, they are yours now. So you've just been given 6 powerful licks for your bag of tricks. And I totally didn't mean to make all that rhyme, but whatever, let's go with it. So you now have 6 powerful licks for your bag of tricks. And when you're practicing these, I want to make sure you're progressing through them without a hitch. And that's why I'm giving you a free 30-second survey to find out your #1 guitar progress killer. This is going to tell you exactly what it is that's holding you back from playing guitar the way you want to play it. And it'll tell you exactly what you need to do to bust through that forever. So be sure to click here to take that survey or check the link in the description box. If you enjoyed this lesson, be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Also, be sure to check out our other relevant lessons right over here. I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. I'm Eddie with Guitar Mastery Method, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.